Right, I need a new intro. I'm feeling a little bit spicy this week.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
Bonjour à tous et bienvenue au football cette semaine. I mean, semaine. Nah, listen, wait, so I can explain. It's your boy No Trim Niran back again, and you're watching football this week. This, of course, is a series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer over the course of the last 7 days. I'll be real with you, the world is still very much in trouble and strife. This is a visual representation of how I feel still making this series in the current climate. Tati Westbrook's working on a next 112-minute expose, and there's me in the background researching FTW. Shane, if you could stop being racist just for 1 second, I'm trying to record here. Now, let's be real. I know you guys were expecting me to gloat about Liverpool winning the Premier League, but honestly, I'm not. Like, I'm genuinely not going to. Legit, I don't know why you're still waiting for me to. I made a specific video on it last week, but just to confirm once again, Liverpool are Premier League champions for the first time in 30 years, and I'm not going to lie, it is extremely glorious. Benjamin Mendy, your paycheck is in the post after last week, thank you. I'll be honest, I've been fucking delighted ever since, and it's not just me. Trent Alexander-Arnold seemed pretty delighted as well.
Intruders, yeah, we have a few intruders. Yeah, obviously.
What answer the question?
I can't even remember the question, to be fair.
Jurgen Klopp was living his best life. Meanwhile, over at the Harvey Elliott household, it was a slightly different situation. Harvey, you are doing so well. So proud of how far you have come. Love from Nan. Good to see Milner back. Can every player's grandparents start commenting on Liverpool's Facebook posts? Because it's actually quite entertaining. It's quite incredible to think we've won the league whilst Dejan Lovren was contractually a Liverpool player. I know some people are still going to somehow say we don't deserve to win the league. Oh yeah, but you got loads of VAR decisions. Yeah, well, I've got a VAR decision for you here. Take it or leave it, son. I honestly don't care. I'm not being funny. There's nothing you can say to make this worse. We won the league, and that is the end of the situation. Right, listen. I can explain.
4-0. Are you mad?
The Guard of Honour was as good as it got at the Etihad because Manchester City pummeled Liverpool 4-0. Overall, it was a poor performance. We did have chances. We hit the post when it was still 0-0, but we actually looked as if we were still recovering from the night out when we won the league. Right, Robbo, I need you to be your usual energetic self. It's really important that we put some pressure on down the right-hand side, so make sure you keep pressing. Same. Quick question. What am I meant to be pressing on? Am I squeezing something or... No, I don't mean physically pressing something. I mean pressing as in... Boss, to be fair, listen, I love you. The downhill slope started when Joe Gomez decided to fondle Raheem Sterling in the penalty area. Gives a new meaning to handball, really, doesn't it? Maybe he was just looking for an excuse for another scrap. Round 2, anyone? There are war criminals that would have performed better in this football match. Robert Mugabe would have done a better job at left wing than Sadio Mane. Hermes have a higher delivery success rate than Trent Alexander-Arnold did in this game. Listen, we move. Hopefully it was just the remnants of a heavy night, a lack of preparation, and ultimately, we're still champions, so who even cares? Elsewhere, Sheffield United returned to form with a 3-0 victory over Spurs. Any thoughts, Jose?
3.
Defensively, Tottenham were absolutely awful. There's more chemistry in the Will Smith household right now. Eric Dyer was shambolic. I don't care about that Colombia game. If I ever see him in an England shirt again, I swear down. As far as I'm concerned, he's banned from even purchasing one. I will take personal offense if I even see him in England. Man's getting booted straight off the underground. He was rocking a new trim. Maybe that's where it all went wrong. It also doubles as a handy graph to show his career progression. And it wasn't much better in West London either after a disappointing defeat for Chelsea at the hands of West Ham. We hear that 3 is the magic number. I mean, well, you could say that, to be fair. Could also apply for how many defenders Chelsea need in the next transfer window.
Rudiger blocks the cross.
Reckon I smashed that, to be fair. I'm not being funny, but West Ham haven't actually won a Premier League football match since 1973. Does anyone actually want to finish in the top 4? These lot are about to drop behind a Norwegian substitute PE supervisor. I mean, it's not surprising when you look at the marking. I think there's a bit of a mismatch here. The FA Cup provided a host of entertainment on the weekend as well. Manchester United defeated Norwich whilst Chelsea joined them in the semi-finals. Arsenal scraped past Sheffield United, and Kieran Tierney showed off his high-budget kit bag. It's 10p for one of those these days. That's pretty extortionate. Meanwhile, Manchester City knocked out Newcastle in typically dominant form. This pass completion made it look like it was year 11s versus a team of 6-year-olds.
Yeah, we won and we got...
Stay here. He's going to stay here and come here, okay? That's an exclusive out of Newcastle tonight. He's had enough of Manchester City and he's going to come play Newcastle.
And in the semi-finals, Manchester City drew Arsenal. So congratulations to Manchester City on getting through to the FA Cup final. Moving on, and not being allowed into the stadium didn't stop one Leicester fan letting off a smoke bomb in his own living room live on Sky Sports. Meanwhile, a Wolves fan utilised that opportunity to remind Aston Villa fans where they're headed. It's phenomenal shithousery from whoever this man is. Now, Everton manager Carlo Ancelotti was asked about the club's decision to let go of one of its youngsters, Luke Garbutt. He'd spent the season out on loan, and he didn't really seem to know who the young Englishman actually was.
I wanted to say anything about Luke Garbutt, who's leaving the club. He's been there for 11 years. Why have you decided to release him?
Who?
Luke Garbutt.
Sorry, but I am
Okay.
surprised about this question. I don't know.
All right.
I mean, Luke saw the funny side of it and posted a montage of himself on Twitter as a reminder, but that's gotta sting a little bit. Meanwhile, given Danny Ings' recent good form, one Liverpool page decided to try and cheekily go in for the striker, but as Southampton's official Twitter page reminded us, we've probably taken enough from them over recent times. Down at Millwall, an interviewer had to improvise using a mop as a microphone from a distance, and down at Fulham, a no-look elbow. That's actually quite impressive from Mitrovic. Over in Germany, Borussia Dortmund revealed their new home kit for the season. I hope Pokemon are considering suing them. The kit isn't great, but it's not horrendous. It's made horrendous by the sponsor. The kit's in the gulag, I'm sorry. And down in the second division, Hamburg's Twitter admin went in on their squad, saying if you can't beat Sandhausen, who are down in the relegation zone, I think, at home, then they don't deserve to get promoted. Imagine that happened in the Premier League. Absolute bunch of frauds. Conceded 3 against the man who's available for a pension. He's taken plenty of the ball, play on. Over in Spain, and Iago Aspas was accidentally shown a red card after taking his shirt off for a celebration. The referee swiftly changing it back to a yellow. And a Mallorca teenager aged 15 made his debut in La Liga this week. Now that is a pretty sensational story in itself. Before you even take a look at the kid's haircut, my trim is dead, but come on, it's not a mullet. Like, please, lads. Closer to home, and there's the serious story involving Wigan Athletic, who have been placed into administration in the last 7 days. Now, as a result of this, they're going to be deducted 12 points in the championship, and given how tight the relegation battle is down there at the moment, it almost certainly means they're going to get relegated unless there is an incredible comeback journey. Obviously, this is in part down to the effects of coronavirus. There's been no ticket sales, there's been no gate receipts, and there's been no income in anything that comes to do with actually just playing football out on the pitch. And it is going to have a big effect on a lot of lower league clubs. You're going to see this very regularly for League 1 and League 2 sides especially. But a crucial thing is here, this club was taken over a month ago. So yet again, it is another failure of the Football League in the fit and proper persons test for new owners. And the EFL then have the audacity to deduct them points, especially in these ridiculous circumstances we find ourselves in when it comes to a global pandemic. As with the demise of Bury and the very close to demise of Bolton Wanderers, people within the EFL definitely need to take a look at themselves, because the whole Football League is not being run properly. Yes, it's up to clubs to stay afloat, but when it's a new owner immediately overseeing the downturn of the club's fortunes, you should have put things in place to make sure that didn't happen. It's not all bad news in the Football League though. Portsmouth taking the opportunity to use Southampton legend and fierce rival Matt Le Tissier in a Portsmouth shirt in their crowd. And one of Northampton's coaches seemed very pleased with their promotion to League 1 in the changing rooms. We've got the creation of a new sport, socially distanced football. I'm free, swing it in the box. Which box, big man? There's like 12 of them. Whilst over on Twitter, Zlatan Ibrahimovic's latest post gained a lot of attention. God and his students. Fam, how old is this guy? I swear. He's 40. This is bold for a man who's got the mobility of a chicken jalfrezi. But now it is time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Now, first of all, if you're looking for a Sunday League first touch, this is probably where you're going to find it. secondly, we have a pitch that seems below ideal standards, really. I mean, who allowed this? Come on, what like? On to the weird stuff now. On loan, Vitória forward Mirko Antonucci has had his loan terminated with the Portuguese side because he's been using TikTok too much. Apparently, he posted a video like a few hours after they just lost the game 3-1, and that was the final straw. He may have jeopardized his career, but he's got some banging new dance moves, so who's the real winner here? We've got an interesting workaround to a kit malfunction here, just sellotape a new number over the old one. And finally, Inter backup goalkeeper Tommaso Berni has featured in FTW before. It was because he was sent off as a substitute for arguing with an official, despite the fact he's actually never played a game for the club. He'd got 1 red card to his name, but 0 appearances. Well, would you believe it? He's gone and done it again. The man is now on 0 appearances since 2014, but 2 red cards. How is that possible? But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.